rocking with
Ghetto Report.
Ghetto Report.
Ghetto Report.
Ghetto Report.
Ghetto Report Podcast.
Your boy Trench News, man, rocking out with Ghetto Report Podcast. Make sure y'all tune in to him, man. Up and coming. He the newest shit, man. It's lit.
All right, for sure. All right, Carl, so paint the picture. All right, man, I got these cards, man. I'm with my man Trench's News. He got a photographic memory, so we're going to go over some of these stories real quick. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I don't know if you, but first, before I get into that, how you doing, brother?
I'm good.
No, I like your channel. You know what I'm saying? You tell, that's why I wanted to interview you. You know, you tell the stories. They say, some say it's not true, then they say it's 80% true. But, you know, when we could all see the same thing, right? And we're all gonna have a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So that's your perspective, and your stories end up coming out to be true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what made you start doing these stories?
The reason why I started doing the stories, cause people like truth teller. Like like when I first came home in 2020, I was watching them, and people was telling me that the blogging game in jail, like, man, there's bloggers out there, out there. This when it started getting the height of the bloggers. So I was in jail, and I came home, and I was getting high, and I was sitting there watching truth teller, and he was talking a good game. And then he got all the way to the end of his video and said, well, I ain't 100% true, according to sources. I'm like, oh, hell no. He telling our stories and don't know shit. So I had to, you know, jump in because I knew both sides. I was with both sides. So
What story was he telling?
he was telling a story, I want to say about L.A. Capone or something. And, you know, L.A. from my block. So when he said that, I'm like, hell no.
He's from your block?
Yeah, L.A., his mama, you know, not 600 originally where he from.
The low end.
The low end.
The low end, okay.
Yeah.
When they knocked them buildings down?
2001, 2002.
Yeah. So when they knocked those down, you went where?
When they knocked the buildings down, I went to 63rd. My whole block went to 63rd. That's where we went.
And you was staying over there?
I was staying in No Limit.
Oh,
but I
you
was
staying
going
in No Limit.
Yeah, but I was going to 63rd. Yeah.
Okay. You moved around. So when you was staying, you didn't have no issues when you moved away from your neighborhood?
Nope.
Initially?
Nope. The reason why it wasn't no issue, because they didn't just tear down my building. They tore down all the buildings.
What, all the projects?
Yeah, so come from the low end, if you go in these neighborhoods and you bump to somebody, where you from, Joe? Oh, I'm from 39th. I'm from 43rd. Oh, low end to no end.
Yeah.
You know, it's just gonna link up off the strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you from the low end. Y'all had issues with people from the low end or other neighborhoods? Cause you a BD, right? Well, you was a BD.
Yeah, I was. I was a flunky.
You was a flunky. Okay.
I'm gonna admit it.
I like that. Growth. You know what I'm saying? So y'all had issues with people from the low end, basically?
Different blocks, different projects at the time.
Okay.
But it was structure and rules, though.
Rules.
Yeah.
Like knowing your literature.
Knowing your literature, not just going to strike off emotion.
Yeah,
like you couldn't just go on a hit and then come back and be like, oh, we just killed something. No, you can't do that. Your ass gonna be dead with them. Like, you can't just do that because that's jeopardizing. You know, you breaching the security.
That's jeopardizing everybody. That's it cause a lot of bullshit. But what's your literature? Like, how does that go? Who wrote the book?
It was actually written by Don Durkee. Don Durkee get credit for it. He get credit for the literature.
Okay.
You know, and
he's the one that did all that time, and he just came home. Did he come home?
He did some time.
Yeah.
He did some time with you know, you be seeing him on Don Diva, and he be on the platforms that are like that.
Yeah. He was talking about Larry Hoover and stuff.
Yeah.
How they used to be cool. And
Yeah.
he was crying on one of them joints. How they separated. It wasn't supposed to happen like that.
Wasn't supposed to happen like that. Yeah. And so he had wrote it, and you know, I just look at it like as I got older and shit like that, and understanding. When you understand it and educate it, you see it for different. Like, a person wrote this shit for they benefits, and you know what I'm saying, and not abiding by it.
Yeah. So it was a whole bunch of rule breaking, basically.
Yeah.
But you said you was a stick-up kid.
Yeah, I was a stick-up kid.
Was that in the literature? No.
Nope.
So you was breaking the rules too.
But if you look at it, I wasn't robbing no civilians.
Okay. Okay.
I was robbing drug dealers.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, to me, but other people are gonna be like, no, it's not. It's the same. You're not supposed to rob people, but it's it's a big difference in robbing innocent people, innocent civilians. So you end up stopping that when you came home and you started getting into this.
I actually was end up in a wheelchair in 2015.
I seen that. And you said the girl treated you.
Oh yeah, abused me, bro.
Yeah.
When you down, this for the youth. When you down, I'm telling you, not just when you old. If you get in that wheelchair, bro, you gonna see who your real friends is, man.
Oh yeah. So you think your past came back to haunt you on that? Or?
Oh yeah, a lot of shit I was doing,
yeah.
you know, a lot of, cause I was reckless with it. Like I could be on the block, me and you could be chilling with your homie.
Yeah,
And if he pull out a bankroll, I'm like, hey, bro, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you sure this your homie? He ain't never did nothing to you?
Yeah.
You know, like that's the type of shit I was on.
Oh, you one of them guys that might have looked for an issue. Like, oh, yeah, I think he did such and such and such and such, man. I got to get that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I ain't never prey on the weak.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you was weak, I ain't want your shit.
Yeah.
I want niggas who had names. Like, most of the people I robbed, they had names, slots, authority, you know.
You ever running back into him?
Yeah, I ran, y'all.
And y'all talk? What you ever apologize?
To some,
Yeah.
some, then, you know, you would think like they gang members and shit. They going to my father's house. They going to running into my mom. He robbed me.
Yeah.
You know, gang members, like, for real. I robbed this one dude. This what really started making me not rob again. I robbed this dude who was in our building. I came home from the joint, and I told him to shut down. Everybody else in our project, our little building, not the projects, but we got another building that's still standing. And they was just letting this man serve. They standing outside broken shit and complaining. This man serving, got all the hoes and out from our building. So I'm like, hey, bro, you got to shut down. So he was like, man, everybody else I can serve about, but you. You on some broke shit.
Yeah.
You hear me? But he ain't getting them nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I had robbed him. I had took like 1.5 pounds down there, 2 pounds from him. And the man called the police, told him I took his check. I had to damn near get him back the weed, show them that I took some weed from him to beat that shit on everything, bro.
Yeah.
On some real shit. I stood up in court like, excuse me, Your Honor, I ain't robbing for no check. I robbed for some weed. I told him to shut down.
Yeah.
You know, and the judge was like, hey, is this true? And they locked his ass up for contempt on everything, bro.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you get any backlash for that? Because now they saying that they might say you told doing that.
No, him and his mom was in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Shit, if I went, the PD was like, shh. I'm like, nah, bitch, you should. I ain't finna go to jail because of this shit. I took some weed from him.
Yeah.
You know, this nigga talking about I took a check. You know, it's a difference between some weed and you took a nigga government check. You going to jail for that shit, and that's a robbery. I'm like, nah, I can't go like that. I gotta speak up.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So they took him to jail for contempt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ain't seen him since?
No, I ain't seen him since. I ran into his little sister, but, you know, she say, what's up? You know, she don't look at that shit no more.
Okay, so you've been doing these robberies. Like, was it ever worth it? Like, did you feel like...
No, none of that shit wasn't worth it, man. I hit for 2 kilos, bro, and was broke 9 months later.
I'm caught up in this fast life. Every morning night I pray. Gotta make it out some way. Put a smile